Before I begin today's commentary, I just want to clarify something. It's not the fact this guy put games on a list that I may or may not like. The reason I'm doing this commentary is mainly because of the reasons he hates these games. Also, I'm going to be a little nitpicky on some of his points, but that's mainly because of the fact that the closer you get to number 1 on a list like this, you find more reasons to hate something. And Meta just doesn't do this. Alright, let's start the— oh my— I haven't even started the video yet and I found a problem. Why on earth would you remove the likes and dislikes still in the comments? This may just be me, but disabling likes and dislikes is just as bad as disabling comments. Alright, let's just begin.
Now as for why I hate Donkey Kong Jr. more than its predecessor, well, it takes place right after the first Donkey Kong, where the objective was to defeat Donkey Kong and save Pauline. Donkey Kong Jr. took place right after, and here, Mario was the bad guy because after saving Pauline, he locked up Donkey Kong. No, you don't do that. You just don't. You can't just make someone feel terrible for playing the first game which you wanted them to enjoy. That's not very pleasant.
Oh please, if you think that's unpleasant, play Donkey Kong Circus, the game in which Mario is an asshole to Donkey Kong, and that game's supposed to be a prequel to the Donkey Kong arcade game. As for the reason why they switched the roles, rather simple. Nintendo was probably having a difficult time thinking of a sequel, and they thought, why not switch the roles for Donkey Kong Jr.?
I know that everyone has a favorite game of a specific series, but why does nearly everyone pick Mario Party 2? It's a good game, don't get me wrong. What makes it the best in the series? I just don't get it. I mean, I like Mario Party 1 better because it had more memorable levels and minigames to it. I don't really have much else to say about Mario Party 2.
No, I didn't edit out his number 5 segment, that's how long it actually is. Why skimp out on details for this one? It's only 21 seconds. You only brought up 2 points as well. I don't understand why. Especially considering that the entries I skipped, you provided more reasons you'd hate it. So why is this at your number 5 when you only provide 2 reasons? I don't understand it.
Mega Man 3 didn't really get my interest. A lot of people say that Mega Man 3 is the second best classic Mega Man game, second only to Mega Man 2. At least Mega Man 2 had innovations such as password saving and making the games longer. Mega Man 3's biggest innovation was the usage of Rush. Except I found Rush to be more gimmicky than fun. I like Mega Man 1, 2, 4, and 5 better. But wait, why do I enjoy 4 and 5 more than 3? Because they're more memorable, they have a certain charm to them, and what was another thing? Oh yeah, they didn't have the filler of having to fight the past Robot Masters in some of the most frustrating Mega Man stages ever.
1. Mega Man 3 also introduced the slide, which is actually a pretty helpful tool. 2. Rush can also be used to find power-ups, such as a faraway energy tank, or energy capsule. And 3. Oh yeah, Mega Man 4, 5, and 6 didn't have any filler in it at all. Like when you defeat all 8 Robot Masters, you had to go through 2 castles. If anything, they're just as bad as fighting the Mega Man 2 Robot Masters in Mega Man 3. Just saying.
Don't worry, this will be the last entry on the list that I've made an entry solely about ranting on before. Castlevania on the NES is easily the hardest game I've ever played. It has some of the cheapest enemy placement ever. If you haven't played it, you have no idea. I did admittedly get it on the Wii Virtual Console, even though I said you would have to start the whole game all over again if you turned it off, but on the Virtual Console, you have a way of just starting back up where you left off. I'm happy about that, but it's still the hardest game I've ever played.
Wait a minute. Didn't you say earlier that you liked Mega Man 1, and that game doesn't have a save feature or a password feature, mind you, and yet people can contest that game is just as hard as Castlevania?
So a couple months ago, I decided to get it so I could feel more like a true Crash Bandicoot fan. When I ultimately got it, it didn't make me feel like a true Crash Bandicoot fan. I hate this game because of one fatal flaw. Wait, why do I hate it if it's only one flaw? Simple. That flaw is so outrageous that it completely ruins the experience for me. That flaw is the broken as heck, poorly designed save feature. The only way to save is to collect enough Tana tokens on a level which are found in hard to reach areas.
Word of advice, Meta, don't show footage that counteracts your point.
Like I said about a month ago, it is by far the worst example of losing progress whenever you get game over. Overall, I hate this game.
This is your number 2 entry, Meta, and you only used the save feature as a reason to hate this game. I noticed this issue with your Mario Party 2 entry as well. You seem to skimp out on details, or you don't want to think of the reasons. You gotta find that balance between too many points and too few points. As I said before, the closer you get to number 1, you have to think of more reasons to hate something. Otherwise, don't put it at number 2. And while I will admit that the save feature is bad, to use it as the one sole reason to hate a game, I do take issue with, because although this game isn't perfect, you could have thought of more reasons than just the save feature. Because using that is like saying, because I don't have a memory card, Final Fantasy VII sucks dick.
The number 1 game I don't like as much as everyone else does is not a bad game. I don't hate it in any way, but it's definitely my number 1 pick for this list.
Despite the fact this is supposed to be a list about games that you don't like that everybody else does.
But lacks so much charm that Banjo-Kazooie had. Banjo-Kazooie wasn't one of my all-time favorite games, but it's definitely one of my favorite N64 games. It had such a beautiful atmosphere to it, and it manages to put a smile on my face. And keep in mind that this is someone who didn't grow up with it. In Banjo-Tooie, on the other hand, the atmosphere is just colorless and boring.
Banjo-Tooie's story is a lot darker compared to Banjo-Kazooie, so they made the atmosphere as such. I mean, would you want happy music to play during this? I'm gonna stop the video here because I haven't beaten Banjo-Tooie yet. This wasn't the worst list I watched, but oh god, does it have problems. Anyway, that's all I gotta say, so later.